the issue of the wetlands and the natural forests is even bigger than life and death, and it is a threat of extinction. That's what I'm telling you. What are the reasons? The following are the reasons. Number one, 60% of our rainfall comes from the oceans, the Indian, the Pacific, and maybe the Atlantic. However, 40% of our rain comes from the local water and forest bodies, the natural forests, the lakes, the rivers, and the wetlands. The atmosphere is impregnated with moisture from these bodies by evaporation and transpiration. The moisture condenses in the atmosphere and comes back as rain. You want to know how crucial these sources are in rain formation? This is the question I'm putting to you. Do you want to know how crucial these local water bodies are to the rain we get? Look at two parts of your country, West Nile and Karamoja. They are more or less on the same latitude. That is between 2 degrees north and 4 degrees north. Both of them, West Nile and Karamoja. They are both on the same latitude. Latitude means the distance from the equator. However, West Nile gets 1,467.4 millimeters of rain per annum. West Nile, they are all the same distance from the equator, but West Nile gets 1,467.4 millimeters of rain, while Karamoja gets 811, almost half. They are the same distance from the equator, but West Nile gets 1,400 and something. Karamoja gets 811 of rain per year. What causes the difference? What is the difference? The forests in Congo and the swamps of the Nile in South Sudan. This is what gives West Nile more rain than Karamoja, although they are on the same distance from the equator, what we call latitude. That is why the Egyptians' idea of the Jonglei Canal was very dangerous, because it would rapidly take away the water from the flood areas of the SADs north of Juba. The Egyptians had an idea of building a canal to bypass the swamps of South Sudan and bypass the loop of the Nile. That would have caused a big, that means that rain would not, we will not get this rain in West Nile. It is these water sources that enable Kalangara, the swamps of South Sudan and the forests of Congo help West Nile to get more rain than Karamoja. Then we come to the water bodies of the other parts of Uganda. Enable Kalangara to get 1,676 millimeters 0.6 of rain per year. Kalangara, 1,676.6 millimeters of rain per year. Chijezi to get 1,040.7 millimeters of rain per year. The Rwenzori area to get 1,043.9 millimeters of rain per year. Mbare gets 2,213.4 millimeters a year, etc. So you can see all these areas get a lot of rain because of the local water bodies. Either Lake Victoria, or in the case of Chigezi, which is far from the lake but has the local swamp, then Mbare, because of the Mount Elgon and the forest. Therefore, anybody to invade the lake shore, emyejego y'enyanja, the river, Omugera, the wetlands, Ekisharara, and the national forest, Ekibera, etc., is to work so hard to turn the whole of Uganda into a Karamoja in terms of rain. Some people, whether they know it or they don't know it, are not happy that we are getting so much rain. They would like the whole of Uganda to be like Karamoja. That's what they are working for. Bagala Uganda yonna efuuke nga Karamoja. The rain which God put for us here, the rain source, they want to dry it. Urubango rwanjye. Secondly, so therefore the wetlands are source of 40% of our rain. And if you remove them, the whole of Uganda will be like Karamoja at least, or at worst. I don't know which, whether at least or at worst. The experts will have to go and get the right words, or may even be worse. Because I don't even know how Karamoja gets to the 800. I have not studied that very well. Secondly, with rain-fed agriculture, we sometimes get some erraticness of rain. Sometimes we get less quantity of rain. Therefore, to stabilize our agriculture, we must use our abundant water supply for irrigation, so that we stabilize the two rainy seasons, Katumba and Itumba. That's what we call them in Rinyankore. The one of March to May, we call it Katumba. The one of August to December, we call it Itumba. And even add more harvests using irrigation. The question then is, where will the water come from if you have dried the wetlands? Here we are talking of irrigation. Irrigation. We have now deployed solar pumps, solar water pumps. We've got a contract with an Indian boy to make solar-powered water pumps to pump water for irrigation. And we have also got a number of collective schemes. There's Mobuku already doing well, Doho doing well, some others, there's one called, the one in Lango area there, doing well. But we are working on more, and also even individually. Like me, if I get a solar-powered water pump, which I already have. I already have a number of them at my farm. I can push water from my dams up to a hill and irrigate my my pasture or my crops. Now we want this to be done everywhere. But now the water is from the wetlands. So if you dry the wetlands, where do you get the water from for irrigation? What sort of country is this which does not see far. Drying the wetlands is anti-agriculture. It is anti-irrigated agriculture. It is so unfair that a small number of wetland encroachers ruin the opportunities of the millions that could irrigate on the dry land. Number 3, the swamps are the natural filters of the water that goes into the lakes. Otherwise, you get silt going into the lakes, destroying the fish, and even eventually drying the lake through silting. The silting and pollution of the lakes, after removing the swamp filter, also poison our lake water for drinking and household use. It pushes up the cost of clean water for that purpose. If you were to ask the National Corporation, National Water Corporation, they will tell you that they must spend a lot of money to remove poisons from the water because of allowing removing the kakunguta, bakita kakunguta mu Luganda, removing the akajejana mu Lunyankore, akajejana, the filter. Okusengeja. Because those swamp grasses is God's kasengeja. God planted them for us. The swamps, the grass, the papyrus, they just filter the water going into. That's why at Kiamata I would just go to the swamp and drink with my hands. I had no problem. It was not treated, but it was filtered by God. But now we are very busy destroying. I don't know whether we are enemies of God or what. We are enemies of ourselves because God it's not bad. He's in heaven there. If we destroy here, it is us, not God. God doesn't depend on water, doesn't drink. I don't think he's thirsty. It is us who need all this support. Number 4, part of the cause of flooding is swamp destruction. There was flooding here in Kampala the other day. People were crying, they lost so much. But that flooding is partly caused by this destruction of the swamp. The swamp vegetation acts as a sieve for the water, but also as a brake for the speed of the water. With the swamp grass, swamp vegetation, such as papyrus, there is a grass very common called Cyperus latifolia, the scientific name. We call it ebigugu, Nyankore. The papyrus. The water is not only received, but it is also slowed down. It can't cause damage. You clear the swamp vegetation, you get water flowing quickly and massively and drying up quickly. Water destroys and then it dries up. Watch the Boise channel. There's this channel which I passed by at Boise. It is sometimes full and then dry. You can see it there at Boise. I normally pass there. Sometimes the water is full, sometimes it's dry. Because it goes quickly. God's plan was not for the water to go quickly. God's water was for the water to go slowly. And the breaks were the swamp, the grass, the vegetation. Goes slowly, 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 slowly. It doesn't. So the flooding is partly caused by destroying the swamps. Number 5, when the vegetation in the wetlands and the forests slows down the speed of the water flow, it allows the water to sink in the soil and replenish, recharge the underground water. Ensuro. Ubu mu Rwanda bazita batya? Aha, ensuro, okay. This is the water that is going underground. In many parts of Ankole, we have those ensuro. You dig down in the valley, you see the water coming from the ground. But it started coming from the mountain or somewhere going through. When the vegetation in the wetlands and the forest slows down the speed of the water flow, it allows the water to sink in the soil and replenish, recharge the underground water, ensuro. Destroying the vegetation cover in the wetlands and forest areas makes the runoff water, omutunga, omukoka, alele, flow very fast and will not have time to sink in the soil. The water will just go quickly. It will not have time to sink in the soil. The underground water will eventually dry up. What is all this if not a disaster? How can people work like this as if they don't know what they are doing?